This is 2 off seasons in a row that Danny Ainge, he lost Kyrie Irving. He got nothing to show for it. He lost Gordon Hayward. He's got nothing to show for it. Like these free agents have just, at least that was a move, but really, yeah, you're right. Nothing to show for it. What happened with Hayward, and what do you make of what's taken place the last couple of off seasons, where you would think that maybe with these great players you could pull off a sign and trade or something, have something to show for these guys that were in tow, and you ended up with nothing to show for it?
My understanding is that Indiana was offering somewhere around 4 years, $100 million, maybe up to $110 million for Hayward. And Boston and Indiana were obviously negotiating a trade return, something with Miles Turner and maybe Aaron Holiday on top of that. And I think, I don't know if Charlotte just came over the top with a wealthier offer and Hayward just signed it and took it and said, forget Indiana, I'm not going to bother with, this back and forth. Or if it's the type of thing where Boston just didn't want to take Miles Turner, because I don't think Boston likes Miles Turner that much. So they'd be getting a guy that's getting paid $18 million who they don't really care for too much, and they'd probably be looking to flip immediately. To me, I think Boston may have botched the fact that they let an asset go for nothing without getting Turner back, because other teams would have loved to trade for Miles Turner. So for them, maybe they just would prefer that, but I'd be willing to bet that they just botched this and they should have taken the deal sooner instead of haggling back and forth, which gave Charlotte time to actually make that offer and go over the top to get.
What do we think about Charlotte's angle in this?
I mean, they're trying to compete, get playoff seed. Same thing as Atlanta. There's pressure on them. Michael Jordan wants to win, and win to the level you're at least in the playoffs. Win to the point you're in the finals. I'm not so sure about that. But Gordon Hayward, this is going to make them look competent. You know, it's like if you're building around LaMelo Ball and PJ Washington, and you got these young guys with Gordon Hayward, they're going to look good.
But aren't these the moves that you hate? These are the moves to the middle.
Dude, I mean, I've bashed Charlotte for years. All they do is make moves to go to the middle. That's all they do, and it's frustrating. And I would just hope, if you're a Hornets fan, I would hope that this is a sign that, like, hey, this is 4 years of being competitive. Make yourself look like a competent, place to develop LaMelo Ball, and then you actually make additions with the intentions of competing for a championship. That's what I would hope. But their past would prove otherwise. Yeah. That hasn't been the priority. The priority has only been getting in the postseason, not necessarily competing for a championship, but being a solid team, and that's it. That's that. And that's where, I look at this and I'm like, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. But the thing is, man, Gordon Hayward's not worth that money. Let's be honest here. Let's just be honest. Gordon Hayward, the last 3 years since he suffered that unfortunate injury in Boston, has not been close to the same guy because he hasn't been able to attack the basket with the same ferocity that he did in Utah. He doesn't draw as many fouls. He doesn't finish as well. Gordon Hayward is not the same guy. He can still contribute for you. He can still be a solid player. We saw some of the flashes of what he did.
His last 3 months were pretty spectacular.
Well, January and February, before he got hurt again, and before the hiatus in March, he would look a lot closer to himself at that point than he ever has since the injury happened. January and February, Gordon Hayward looked a lot like Gordon Hayward, the all-star in Utah that signed a max deal with Boston in 2017. If Charlotte's getting that guy for a full season, for a full 4 years max contract, it's a different story. Will they get that guy? Similar to you bringing up Kristaps Porzingis and his injury concerns for Dallas, Hayward hasn't been able to stay healthy, has he? I mean, it's always something. It's always something.
No, he's really good. He's a really good basketball player. He's a very good team basketball player. The question is, how good can you be are these like the old Utah teams, right? What's the limit of a team with Gordon Hayward as the best player? I don't know.
I mean, I don't think this team has any championship aspirations over the next 4 years.
I don't think so either.
No, and I'm not saying that as like a knock on them. They have LaMelo Ball, who's a rookie. PJ Washington is a second-year player. Devontae Graham, who's still super, super young. This team isn't ready to talk about championships yet. Maybe by year 3, year 4 of that Hayward contract, you can build towards that. If LaMelo gets really good, really fast. But those are things we just don't know. And I would expect this to be a very average team over the next 4 years that's competing for like the 6th or 5th seed in the East at best.
But at least it's not a team that when you look at the schedule, you go win. You know what I mean? And they have been that team.